Yep. Gold hits over 4,000 Australian dollars. It is in all-time highs in, I think, almost all currencies, including USD. We'll take a look at the gold price today. We'll discuss that further. We'll do some chart requests. We'll look at the silver price, the platinum price. It's just the week daily live show you know as Good Morning Stackers with me, Joe Main. If you're watching this on the replay, use the time codes below to go to your favorite part. But if you're watching live, you are one of the privileged many that get to enjoy every single thing we do here, including the synchronized slurp within the first 1 minute of the show. Grab your tasty beverages, people. What is it today? Is it a cup of soup? Is it a coffee? Is it a water? Is it a soda water? Whatever it is, man. Slurp it together. Here we go. Synchronously. The rule is you must do it audibly wherever you are in the world. Here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slurp it, people. Oh, what a glorious day. Well, I was going to say glorious day for the precious metals. Not so much here. I'm coming to you from Melbourne in Australia. It is overcast and rainy and whatever, but that's okay. You have good days, you have bad days. Speaking of good days in terms of precious metals, gold in particular, over 4,000 Australian dollars. We'll take a look at that chart today. We'll take a look at a bunch of different charts. And again, get your chart requests in as well, and maybe like first come, first served. Preferably I'll look at something that I haven't done before. Of course, we've got to do the shout outs though. Hey everyone, GMS, g'day knackers. And again, I love that you talk amongst yourselves as well. Looks like it hit nearly 48 Australian dollars silver, that is. That's correct. Morning, everyone, says knackers. Yep, cool. Tia Humkust. I'm going to say that's some kind of Eastern European language, and Lance will always tell me what language it is. It is hat day. It's a hat day today. Reasons. Yeah, sometimes it's hat day. Sometimes it's let the hair flow free. It's great to see everyone here. Of course, hit the like button. It helps with the algorithm. And hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. Look, you get a warm and fuzzy feeling when you do. It's right about here in the cockles. Is that the cockles, what they call it? I don't know. And hit the like button because it helps with the algorithm. As I said, hit the big red subscribe button. You get a week daily live show brought to you by me, Joe Main. Who the hell am I? I've worked in the precious metals industry in Australia over the retail bullion industry over 11 years, over 3 major bullion dealers. We're talking Gold Stackers, then Bullion Now was their first employee, launched and grew their YouTube channel. You know it, you've seen it, you love it. That was me. Ainsley, I revitalized their social media channels. Now they're doing great guns and very consistently engaging content now is what I helped provide. I do that for you and your business or a business that you work for as well. So hit me up with an email to gmstackers@gmail.com, gmstackers@gmail.com. Do you have a business, or does your boss have a business? Well, does your boss have a business? Yeah, your boss has a business, very likely. So I can help you guys really create a community and really increase your business's revenue. It's what I've been very good at doing. So you want to find out more? We'll have a chat, then I'll charge you money because I'm a dirty, greedy capitalist. Also, I haven't mentioned this for a while. If you'd like to buy me a coffee to help support the show, buymeacoffee.com/goodmorningstackers. I've already had some coffees bought for me, which is fantastic. Go over there. I'd love that. And also, just so you know, super chats are now open too. So as the community gets even larger, we're getting closer to 1,000 subscribers, over 750 now, 752. And so obviously, as we get bigger and bigger and bigger, and I'll just get rid of that, as we get bigger and bigger and bigger, what's going to happen is I will still see your comments, but they're going to come in thicker and faster, okay? So the better way, soon is going to be, if you really want me to see your comment, to do a super chat. Hey, and I'll also say, hey, if you're doing a chart request, you don't have to, but super chats are open. That's all I'm saying. Helps me to support the show. Speaking of supporting the show, it is also supported by Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, and WealthStack, wealthstack.com. You may hear a little bit more about those in a little bit later in the show. Pete Repeat says distilled carbonated water is what you're sipping today. Great. Yeah, you're slurping, I should say. Lemon juice and wow. So soda water, lemon juice, and Celtic salt for the drink today. Very good. As I've said a few times before, my very first morning beverage is a shot of coffee, a half strength coffee, because I try not to drink too much caffeine, but I have a half shot of coffee every single morning the second I wake up. And sometimes it could be if I wake up an hour before my alarm for some reason, I'll have it then, plus a giant salt water. And then I go back to sleep or I just rest for a while and bing, good morning. It's a great way to start my day. That's my little top tip. Top of the morning to you, Pip Pip, says Chris King. Great to see you. He's from the UK. Lance, it's Finnish. Thank you. It's Finnish. Nicely done. Yeah, I can always roughly pick the general area, and then you're a little bit more specific for me. Let's see, people. Lance the man. Lance is the man. I want to know, Lance, how are you doing it now? How are you faring after the incident? So let us know in the comments. Okay. Let's talk about it, people. We're going to do gold, silver, platinum analysis. We're also going to weld in, or weave in the fact that we've hit all-time highs in Australian dollars. So we'll look at that first, and we'll look at some other currencies as well, even the USD. So, hey, it's just a big rah, go gold, all-time highs in all different currencies discussion today. So let's take a look at, we'll start with gold in Australian dollars. I think we'll do that. Of course, hit the big red subscribe button to join the GMS family. Where am I going? Over here. Duh. Right. Here is gold in Australian dollars. Okay. 4,020 Australian dollars. Okay. Now, we all know, really, that gold is up in world currency units because of, yes, the price of gold is getting, more attention and all that, but really the value of the dollar in other things are going bloop, 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 right? So the value of the dollar is going down. Gold tends to, track with that over time. Cool. But it's very good to see. And check this out. This is the AUD, okay? It's on the monthly time frame. Each candle is 1 month. And I've just drawn in here the mother of all trend lines. Now, I'll quickly show you. It's a little bit different here, the mother of all trend lines. Let me show you the mother of all trend lines for gold in USD. Now, this goes back to all the way to 1980. Okay, so that's the mother of all trend lines, 1980, 2011, and the recent peak where, and we'll come back to that in just a second. So as you can see very clearly, though, this mother of all trend lines, on gold, we've already hit it and we're actually slightly above it. But with AUD, now it is slightly different mother of all trend lines, right? It doesn't go back as far. If I had more historical data, then I would do that. But for me, look at this. It's a very clear trend line. This goes back to 2007, 2006, 2007, and you've got a point here in 2009 and a point here in 2011. And that's a very clear trend line that you can see. So I'm calling that the mother of all trend lines for the Australian dollar price. If I had a better historics for it, then hey, I would do that. But what do you know? We have yet to hit the mother of all trend lines on the Australian dollar price. And I think just like gold in USD, I think it is a magnet, and it will go, and it will just go and suck right up to there. Okay, that's sort of round about your $4,400 level. If it were to do it in this month, for example, you're talking $4,350. If you do it next month, in November, you're talking, $4,400. If you don't do it until December, for example, you're talking around about that $4,400. Cool. So that is your area. What we need to look out for, just like with gold in USD, we are already in extremely overvalued territory for gold in Australian dollars. Having said that, as you can see very clearly, you can spend a lot of time in there. So I'm not saying at all that this $4,400 level is it. I have been saying with USD that we're looking peaky from here, and I mean peaky in a shorter term time frame, not in longer term. We're talking multiple thousands, 8 to 10,000 US dollars, even more, okay, in the next 10 years. Okay, quite easily doable. But along the way, obviously, you're going to have peaks and you're going to have troughs. We're getting up to an area in the USD price, and I'll show you that in a second, where it's just looking peaky from there. And so if it took its little sort of 20 to 25% dip from where we are now, that's not surprising, okay? But I think gold can move all the way up to at least $4,400 before we see that dip in the Australian dollar gold price. So that's just my little call. At least, I'm saying at least $4,400 before we have a bigger retrace, which you will, because you always do. Price go up, price go down, right? So that's pretty much it for the gold price. It's historically high. If you don't want to, don't. But pop in the comments now, and don't do anything you don't want to do. But I'd love to know. And you were all anonymous here, I think, pretty much on YouTube. So you can just tell me if you know it, what's your average buy-in cost for your gold? If you're in gold and not just only in silver, what's your average buy-in cost for gold? I'd love to know. And are you doing the happy dance today because we're over $4,000? So that's my call, 4,400. Just watch out for there. I'm not saying it's going to peak there. Just watch out for that. And just like with gold in USD, what we would love to see is the following. We would love to see, let's see something like this. Wouldn't you love to see that? And then break that, bounce off, and then that would be great. Now, we do have to have a bit more of a consolidation. That is going to happen, a bit more of a retrace. So just as healthy, I would say, would be like this, where you come back to that, say that 4,400. Maybe that coincides roughly with the, that 2,800-ish to $3,000 level on gold that I've been talking about to watch out for. And maybe it does something like that for a little bit. Yeah, maybe that. Don't ignore the time frame, by the way. Ignore the time frame, okay, because we're on the monthly. So ignore that. But, something like that would be really healthy, okay? That would be really healthy, maybe back down to that top end there of 3,800. And then that. Oh, boy. Would that not be something absolutely spectacular? Okay, I could see that happening. That's probably, for me, that's probably the most, I'm going to say that's the most likely scenario. So I'm going to give that a more than, I'm just calling this on the fly now. This is the most likely situation for gold and Australian dollars. I am really doing this on the fly because, let me show you, this is going to be a little back and forth with all the prices today. So the time codes might be a little bit more difficult, but this is gold in US dollars. Okay, and again, we'll take a look at other currencies as well. I'll show you a few charts. Let me show you here, 2875 to 3,000 US dollars. That's still for me the price where we will probably have an area topping out around about there on that short term, around anywhere up to around about your $3,000 psychological value. Now, I think that would coincide. This is very bullish for gold in US dollars, by the way. You do that, you bounce off here, and then come back and reclaim that. Oh man, it is on like Donkey Kong, right? That would probably set up this move right here. That would set up that, I knew that would do that. That would set up this right here, moving up to around about that 4,400-ish mark. And then if we have that retrace in gold in US dollars, you would see that come back down. Watch out for around about 3,800 Australian dollars, that spike right there, to be maybe an area of support right there. And then hopefully we do that kind of thing, and then we're talking into the multiple thousands. That's later on down the track, people. We're talking years from now, okay? Not in the next 2 years. So that's great to see in Australian dollars. I'll get to your comments in just a second. Post your average per ounce Australian price that you've kind of averaged in at, that you bought for. But again, just bear in mind, we are here in extremely overvalued. So it will tick over at some point, obviously. But just like here, you can spend a bit of time, have a dip, and then go back for a good wild ride. So it is coming though. So we're here because we're not here, right? We're not down here, and we're not anywhere down here. So it's getting peaky-ish, okay, with room to move. Watch out for that $4,400 level. Cool. Let's take a look at it I'll go back to your comments, and I just want to see if you've told me any average prices for your Australian dollar. Let's see. So Lance says under 2,500 Australian dollars. Man, good on you, Lance. So Lance, under 2,500 Australian dollars is your average buy-in price for gold. And we're over $4,000. Amazing, Lance. That is great. Fantastic to see. Steph Fran says, high gold prices are a bit scary. The world is concerned for its future. Yes. Yes. That's two things. Yeah. It is, gold goes up in times of panic. Times of panic, gold, like if you look at the GFC, gold can have quick dips and then they go on big runs. Okay. So the initial thing in 2020 that we all know that happened, gold went, silver went, but then it did this big run. So in the initial panic, everything basically sells off, but then gold goes, etc. So Lance says, not much luck with silver, in all honesty. So you're obviously a little bit still below your average buying price, okay, for silver. But mate, you're doing well with the gold. Let's see. Lance. Thank you, sir. We received a super chat from Lance. Thanks for all you do, plus bringing us all together. You are very welcome, sir. That is very nice of you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Lance the man. All right, people. Let's PM Lords giveth and taketh. Still up, but not as early as some. Fair enough. So let's go back to the gold charts. We'll take a look at them in other currencies now. I'm going to share the screen again. I'm going to share my old mates at North Star. This is good old North Star. If you're not subscribed to North Star Bad Charts, you really should be. I'm subscribed to them, and I found, after reading and listening to North Star's posts for a long, long time and going, geez, I really align with that. I really resonate with with their particular charting techniques, etc. And it always seemed to align a lot with what I was thinking at the same time. So we seemed to very much be in lockstep, not with everything, but in lockstep. I decided to subscribe to their private subscription thing. This is their public X account. So head over there at North Star Charts. Give them a follow. Hang on. Why would I not be following that? Okay. I don't know. Maybe it automatically unfollowed for some reason. Maybe hit a button by accident. So this is their charts, and they've just recently gone through them in different currencies. So let's have a quick little look-see. I'll show you the one they did in AUD. Indian rupee, Chinese yuan, Canadian, Aussie dollars right here. So this is their chart in Aussie dollars. You can see my head's sort of in the way, but you can see that arc right there. That's that sort of cup and handle right there. This is going back to 2011 as well, like my charts, but going back to about 2011, all that peak through there. Now, I wonder if I do that, I wonder if they're using logarithmic or linear on this scale. Let me have a quick look. They are using a linear scale, okay, and not... actually, no. No, I think they're actually using... can't do that. They're actually using I think it might be logarithmic. Anyway, there's gold in Australian dollars, all-time high right there, okay. Let's take a look at... let's see, they've got gold in Canadian dollars at an all-time high. Amazing, right? Let's see. Gold in Chinese yuan, all-time high. Take a look at another one. Let's see. Gold in Indian rupees, all-time high. This is just crazy, people. Gold in Japanese yen, all-time high. Absolutely amazing. No bear market so far this century. Absolutely agree. Any others right here? Gold in euros. Gold in euros. And interesting, rising wedges are not always bearish. That is true. They're not always bearish. That is, we talked about a rising wedge in something the other day. I think it was in the... what was it? It was in copper. I think it was. There was a rising wedge in copper, but they're not always bearish, okay? They can break out to the upside. So that's gold and euro. So I do highly recommend go checking them out. They have some amazing stuff talking about capital rotation. And I'll go back to the comment. This is what I wanted to talk about after I saw this comment briefly. This was from Steph Fran, the one who said before, high gold prices are a bit scary. The world is concerned for its future. Yes, so gold will go up of course, in times of uncertainty, but gold also goes up through times of capital rotation. And it just gets to a point where stocks have been going up and up and up for a long time in relation to gold. Stocks versus gold are going up like this. And then eventually there's a capital rotation. It happens every 20, 30 years, something like that. But it does happen where gold starts going up and then people start noticing the big whales and everything, or big in the stock market, start noticing, oh, gold against the S&P 500. It's like, well, geez, at some point, if it gets over an X amount of point, if it gets over a certain point, geez, it looks like gold's going to continue its run against the SPX. And geez, I may as well be in gold now versus being in the stock market. So I'm just going to sell my stocks, or a portion of, and then rotate into precious metals. It looks like very much so, another capital rotation is on its way, is happening. So let's take another quick look at that, and I'll show you North Star's charts on that as well. They've got a lot more in their subscription service, but they do share every now and then though. So I do like to champion other people's work, because why would you only listen to me? Okay, here's another chart about gold. Okay, this is currency in circulation versus gold. Okay, the rising wedge breakdown confirms that the last 13 years have simply been a pause or a consolidation in a huge ongoing bull market as this is going down. Okay, so when this is going down, it's really good for gold, because this is the currency in circulation versus gold. So it says when this chart drops, gold goes up. Bull markets are clearly identifiable. You can see it broke down throughout this wedge range here. If we fall below the red line, which we've already done, this is the target, and gold will surge. Yep, I do agree with that. I'm very, very aligned with these guys. Let's show you. They even talk about crypto and Bitcoin, etc. So they do ratios of Bitcoin to gold and all that kind of stuff. What I love about these guys, just like me, they're not moon boys by any stretch of the means. They're not only gold bugs. They're not only crypto bugs. They look at the weight of evidence as I do. Now, this is the one though. Where is it? It's the one, capital rotation. Microsoft. It's not that one. Is it that one? Bitcoin versus gold. It's not there, but that's okay. Is it the one I was looking at? US dollar index, Bitcoin, that one. I know. Isn't this wonderful? You're just seeing me troll through Twitter. Crazy. Gold 5-year, no. Might be up. Here it is. It's all the way up here. Sorry, people. This is just, isn't this riveting? You're just watching me scroll through bloody Twitter. Here we go. Capital rotation events. And this is the gold to SPX, the gold to S&P 500 ratio. This is the chart that I look at too. Okay. Capital rotation events. These rotations occur all the way back to the 1920s, 1930s. Okay. So when this is going up, gold is beating the stock market. When this is going down, the stock market is beating gold. You can see very clearly since about 2012, we've been in this arc right here. And then since about 2021, we've been going sideways, a bit up and down. So you could say we've been consolidating since about 2012, 2013. It's kind of been going sideways since about 2012, 2013, with periods of, peaks and troughs. But the bottom of the arc looks to be the case. And I agree with this line in the sand right here. Let me go in as much as I can. It won't let me do that. That's okay. It's here at this 0.5 mark. When gold breaks out of this line and breaks out of the 0.5 mark, that will signal to all the big players that a capital rotation is confirmed. And then you will see many, 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 many millions, billions go into gold, okay? And the precious metal market in general. And that tracks with my gold to SPX one as well. So let's show you gold to SPX. This is my chart. Looks a little bit different, but, similar-ish. Okay, same thing. This goes back to 2003. Okay, there's that long-term downtrend line. We just broke out of it. Again, this is gold versus the S&P 500. You can see very clearly we're coming to an inflection point right here. We've broken out. Now, for the first time since, geez, I don't even know when. Well, for the first time in this whole downtrend line since 2011, we broke out and closed a month above the downtrend line. And that's what I've been talking about last month, I think it was, or the month before. The fact that we closed here, we made a play for it here, okay? We closed above, we spiked above it, but it was a close the month. And we don't talk about spikes, we talk about closes. We spiked above but closed at it. And last month in September, closed above. That's an amazing sign, okay? Signs of the times to come. It's looking really likely for me. Again, anything can happen. You're also looking at the relative strength index on the monthly time frame on the gold to S&P 500 ratio. Bloop, 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 bloop. Resistance, 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 resistance. Failure every time. This is broken out. That's looking really likely. Who knows? We don't know. But it's looking quite likely. If you start seeing that breakout, that is going to continue in an uptrend. That is going to get to its final hurdle of the halfway mark, the 0.5, okay? And then you close around here or above here, it is go time for capital rotation event. And then we're talking much higher from here of the gold to, we're talking back probably up to this, well, many people would say maybe even back up to the all-time high. But if you want to be a little bit conservative, you could say something like this as an arc, a general kind of arc, all right? Don't take it for rote, okay? But that kind of thing, I would say you would at least double your position in the stock market buying at the 5 mark. So if you bought gold here and decided when it gets to, this mark here of 1.15 on the stock market index, I'm going to swap a bunch of my gold for the S&P 500, which is the safest place to be in unless you're in a gold capital rotation, right? Safest place to be in if you're, this is happening. Gold is the safest place to be in if you're doing this, okay? But if you feel it's like it's getting pretty up there, okay, and if you don't think it's going to make all-time highs, we don't know what could happen, this might be an area where you swap a little bit of your gold back in for the stock market and you've more than doubled your points of the stock market indices, of the stock market index, than you had if you had just been buying it, okay? Buy gold and wait for that swap. Okay, makes sense? Good. Don't do what I would do. That's just something I would consider doing because it's a very clear resistance level right there. And it's the 0.618 as well. So, yeah, I just watch that. But none of that is financial advice. So that is that capital rotation thing. That's just something I wanted to show you there, Steph Fran. A few more comments, then we'll do proper silver analysis and we'll do proper platinum analysis. Then I'll take a chart request, maybe two. Let's see. Pete Repeat says, I'm way late to the party. Didn't start till 2022. As we all say, it's better to be 10 years too late than 10 years too early than 1 day too late. Okay, you don't want to be late. So you are definitely not late to the party, Pete. Not at all. Isn't the BRICS meeting coming up next week? It is on October the 22nd, 23rd, I think. BRICS meeting, a lot of people believe that with the BRICS meeting, they will come out and say, okay, here's our plan for the new world currency, or this is our currency. We're going to back it by gold. That's the big thing many people are saying. It's going to be backed by gold. This is our separate currency. And hey, if you want to do business with us, you've got to do business with our currency and all that. I don't know. Will it happen? Will they announce that? I don't know. Even if they announce that, what does that do for the price of gold? I don't know, because really the US is, the world's leading military power, etc. They have a very vested interest in seeing that thing fail. So I don't know. Who knows? United States, aka Zimbabwe, coming up? Yeah, quite possibly. It seems like it's going that way. I wish Tony was on. Yeah, she would fill us in on the BRICS stuff. I'm sure she'll jump on tomorrow, next week and prime us all for the BRICS meeting. Lance says to Steph, world is in a good place. I agree. See, Australia hosted the bombers that pummeled Yemen. They landed here after hitting Yemen. Oh, God. Interesting, hey? Yankee Stacking's in the house. G'day, Yankee. Great to see you, mate. This is what always happens. I start waffling on. Well, it's not waffling. I'm giving you my technical analysis, talking about gold, and then Yankee stacking always drops on. And let's see. G'day, Yankee. Great to see you, mate. So just out of interest, Yankee and I will be having a chat. We've been DMing each other. It's so sweet. We're just DMing each other, little love notes back and forth. We are organizing a chat where I will be jumping on one of his Ask Yankee podcasts. And then at some point, I'll also get Yankee to come on my channel as well. It was going to be around November 7th. I did announce that, but we've had to remove it. We're going to figure out the right date, okay, for that. But great to see Yankee Stacking watching on the channel. Good to see you, bro. Can't wait till we have our proper chat. That'll be really, really fun, I can imagine. Let's see. Pete Repeat says, AUS is just another US corporate state. Yeah. Look at what happened to the Prime Minister that wanted to shut down Pine Gap. Let's see. Diamond Hands says, Steph Fran. Silver Fox says, hi Joe, any luck finding a spreadsheet for recording metal purchases? It was mentioned on a previous live stream. Yes, there is. And give me 1 sec. Can I share it right now? Hold on 1 second. Let me see something. Let's see. Two-step. Nope, I'm just seeing. There we go. Spreadsheet shared. 2 people shared spreadsheets. I'm just checking my emails. Lance, if it's the same Lance may have shared one, and Jason Ashworth shared one as well. Let me just see here. I'm going to check both of these for a second. That's a good one. So what I'll do after the show ends, I will put links to in the replay to those, okay? If I can get links to those, if they're allowed to be shared publicly, I will put links to those 2 different types of spreadsheets, and you may find them very helpful. Steph says, one day soon we may awaken to a major rise. Lance says, Silverfox, yep, that's the one. Yeah, I've got your one, mate. Steph Fran says, I'll stick to the physical. Most people do. Most people in our area like to. Steph Fran says, again, they've been working on bricks for years and I believe it's ready to launch. Look, it really could. It very well could. Gaza, hello. Contact Earthling. Hello, Gaza. I don't think I've seen you on the channel before. 7, it's great to see you again. Do you think it's in the best interest of the government to use gold as a base monetary line? Well, if they do, they can't spend as much because it's limited. That's my understanding of it. Do you think it's in the best interest? I don't know what, it depends on their incentives. Do you think it's in the best interest of the government to use gold as a base monetary line? I think economies did better when we were on a gold standard. Could I be wrong on that? Yeah, absolutely. Could some Keynesian economists come and go, no, you're wrong. Fiat currency is the best because we get to print as much as we want of it, and then inflation goes rampant. That's what they'd say. Let's see, people. A few more comments, then we'll get to silver and platinum analysis. And then, again, get your chart requests in because I will do one. Yankee, if you have a chart request for anything, let me know. And I will sorry, guys, if Yankee's still watching, I'll give precedence. I shouldn't. I'll give precedence to Yankee's chart request. Canberra Stacker, is it a good idea to be buying gold while still over $4,000? No one can tell you that. And you've got to do what's right for you. And of course, dollar cost averaging is probably the best way to gold. To gold. That's a Freudian slip. The best way to go. Dollar cost average. Buy now. Buy in a month's time when it's higher because you just got your paycheck. You inherited some money. Buy then. Just buy on the regular and average your cost is the best way to go. Gaza says it would be the first time anybody has gotten there. That's for sure. GovCo hates gold, can't fudge the figures. That's the thing. You can't fudge the numbers when you're tied to a gold standard. It would control their spending. That's for sure. Exactly right. So let's take a look at silver and platinum right now. Get your chart requests in. I will have time for at least one chart request. Preferably it's something that I haven't seen before. So we'll do that. And before I do, I always do this. I'm sorry, people. Just before I do, Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, my brand partner, one of my brand partners, of course, Australia's only dealer. And this, if Yankee is still watching, and maybe you can comment right now, Yankee, how long has it been that you've known that bullion dealers in the US offer free shipping when you buy over a certain amount? You'll probably come back and say, for as long as I've known, right? Was there a time that you remember when they didn't offer free shipping or buying over a certain amount? Well, guess what, Yankee, and everyone else in the United States? Australia has never done it until this company did it, Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au. They launched their bullion dealership in May, doing absolute great guns, an amazing website, an amazing range, and they're doing everything that I would do if I was starting my own bullion business. I did start one a number of years ago. That went away for a bunch of reasons, which I've spoken about before. But if I was restarting my one, I would do all the things exactly the same, including offering free shipping, because why wouldn't you? You buy over a certain amount, you should get free shipping, okay? So if you buy over a certain amount, it's not usually a dollar volume, it's a ounce volume. If you buy 20 or more things, it doesn't have to be 20 of one thing, it could be a combination of anything, as long as you've got 20 or more items in your shopping cart, instant free shipping Australia-wide. They don't ship internationally at the moment. And international shipping would never be free because it's too expensive. But free shipping worldwide, Australia-wide, express, sign-on delivery, insured, all that other good stuff that you know, except it's free because you bought a bunch. Plus you get volume discounts at the same time. Crazy. Speaking of volume discounts, when I launch my private membership program, you will get instant tiered discounts from Perth Bullion Exchange. You won't be buying at the singular price. You'll instantly be buying at the volume discount price, okay? Just by being a member of my channel, of my private membership, which will be something like, $10 a month, something like that. Cool? Good. That's Perth Bullion Exchange, perthbullion.com.au, and WealthStack. They're still in maintenance mode, just so you know. You can download the app, you can sign up. I believe you can still sign up. I could be wrong on that. But they're still in maintenance mode, just got a few kinks to iron out. Just not kinks, they're doing their, updating stuff and adding more features, okay? Wealthstack.com, Australian-based, Australian regulated and unallocated gold program. They will be adding silver. They will be adding platinum. You are going to, not yet, you're going to get a debit card, which you can spend your gold at anywhere that accepts Visa, MasterCard, all that good stuff, okay? You're saving and investing and transacting in physical gold with a WealthStack account. Because it's an unallocated account, you don't hold it on you. However, physical redemptions are also on the way as well. You will be able to redeem for physical gold, physical silver, physical platinum. But right now, they're in maintenance mode at the moment, but when it's back out of maintenance mode, you buy gold for spot plus 1%, whether it's $1 million worth or $10 worth, okay? And then you can sell back to them for a great even spread, spot minus 0.5%. So the spreads are really good. No storage fees, no transfer fees. Send gold from one WealthStack account member to another account member. We're not going to charge you. They're not going to charge you anything, okay? 100% gold backed by one of the largest vaulting storage services in the world, LBMA registered. Go to wealthstack.com, go all the way to the bottom, click the frequently asked questions page, and just read all that stuff. It gives you all the info about what WealthStack is. I think WealthStack is perfect for people who don't just believe in holding the physical on their premises, on their person at all time. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. I understand that, but what form are you holding it in? It's not a bad idea to spread your risk around. So having some unallocated gold with an Australian regulated company, not a bad idea, at least a portion of. And this is also great for your normie friends who think that we're the weirdos collecting coins. They think we're they think we're coin collectors. They think we're hobbyists, right? So for all your normie friends that you've tried to wake up, hey, just send them this. Send them a screenshot of the app. Download it for iPhone or Android, and they can just buy gold in their phone. Okay, that's the Gen Zs will really understand that. Millennials will do. It's like just do it that way. It's so easy. Okay, that is wealthstack.com. All right, peeps. I tend to forget about that, don't I? Because I'm having so much fun with my GMS family. Hit the bigger and subscribe button. Now let's take a look at silver and platinum. Share the screen. Let's take a look at the silver price. You're just that right here. That's the gold to SPX ratio. If you clicked on the time code, you missed that. So go back and find that because it was really riveting. $31.72 US cents. We're looking at silver in US dollars, priced in, as I said, USD. Monthly time frame. Each candle is 1 month. Let me just pop this off here for a second. And as you all know, giant cup, giant handle. We're on our way up. It's looking pretty darn good. Cup, handle, looking great. That's the macro view. And of course, if it's the logarithmic version of the cup and handle that plays out, we're talking into the several hundreds of dollars. You've got it maxed out technically at around about $600 to $700 if this cup and handle plays out on the logarithmic timescale, which it's more likely to do in my humble non-financial advice opinion, we're talking up here. But triple digit silver, no problem whatsoever in the next 5 years. Triple digit silver in 5 years, piece of cake. Multiple triple digit silver in 10 years, not a problem. Easy. But we do take a look. We'll go back to the daily because you need to look at all the time frames. Because this might be important for you in case you're looking to, maybe you're a new stacker and you don't have your core stack and you're looking to get in at the right time. Well, as we say, of course, dollar cost average is the right way to do it, but out of interest. I do like to give you, as I call, the weather report because this is a week daily live show. We are, look, not a lot to say. We're still in between 31, which is my final hurdle, and that $32.50 area. Okay, that's really it. Analysis over. On the daily time frame, yeah, it's kind of just trading within a range and it hasn't made its decision either way. Do watch out for, is that a head and shoulders on the relative strength index on the daily? Maybe. On the 4 hour. I usually wouldn't go into the 4 hour, but yeah, okay, we're trending up on the 4 hour and you've still got room to move into, we haven't been into extremely overvalued since the middle of last month. So about a month before we went into extremely overvalued on the 4 hour, and then we saw that consolidation back down. Yeah, you could break it anytime soon. I know, really wishy-washy for this today, but we're just above 31, which is good, and we're not above 32.50, but if we get there, great, we'll talk about the higher prices coming. We just need to hold 31, and that's really all you need to know. Hold 31 and definitely hold 29.80. You don't hold 29.80, back down to 28 into the best buy zone. Yeah, cool. Quick, short, sharp, and simple. That is silver in US dollars. Let's do AUD because that was such a quick one. Hey, AUD. We are at 40. We hit over $48 a couple of days ago. Okay, so back over 48 in October. We hit $48 in October. For Tony Peterson. That was the bet that we had. We've done it twice, actually. Yeah, cool. Same thing, really. We just need to clear the $48.70 level in Australian dollars. I really do, as I said, focus on the USD price because the Australian dollar floats against the USD and the USD is the world's reserve currency. So it's better, in my opinion, just to focus on USD because you also have the Australian dollar that floats against the USD, and that fluctuates as well. So you got two factors to play in there. So that is silver in a range. Let's crack above 32.50. Quick, smart, please, and thank you. That's silver, and finally we will do platinum, and then I will maybe I think I've got time for a chart request. If you have one, that is. If you don't, well, I'll get out of here. Platinum. Every single time. Like Lucy in the football. Okay, now look, it spiked. We don't talk about spikes. We talk about closes. Okay. Do I have it drawn in here? Yes, I do. Brush, hide. Yep, that's not the price range. Brush, excuse me. Brush. There we go, right there. Head and shoulders pattern. Is still, it hasn't played out, but we need to watch out for it. Okay, so we're at a very, very crucial area here. I did say if we break and close above this trend line here, which goes back to February of 2021, I won't show you it, but it goes back all the way to there. If it breaks and closes a day above this trend line, that's great. But I said close above. I said watch out for this head and shoulders potential pattern that could play out where you go left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and if we go back down and we break 900 and it's going to be $957, we would be going right back down to the at least the top end of the best buy zone, and probably more likely this time into the belly of the best buy zone, and that's anywhere between 900 to 700 US dollars with a couple of stops along the way at 840 and 870 where it could turn around at those two places because they're key levels of support on the historical chart. Cool, but we're just back in. We've seen that, so it's a fake out. We're in my cautiously excited zone, which is between here and here. Okay, I'm cautiously excited, but we've just got to watch out for that head and shoulders pattern. I'm not getting excited for platinum until we crack above here at around about that $1,005, $1,010 mark. We close at or above it. Then I'll start talking the higher prices. And we're not there yet. So that's all you need to know for platinum. Got to watch out for this head and shoulders, right? This could be, as I've been saying, this could be, or this will be an area. If we crack back down into here, that's where I am personally looking at buying more platinum. I will be buying more platinum, or most likely buying more platinum, if we either get into the best buy zone again, or we crack back above and confirm a longer term bull market for me, which is closing any month above 1,115 US dollars. Until then, me no buy. Platinum. I'm waiting for the weight of evidence to present itself. That's that gold silver ratio we won't worry about. All right, what are we doing, people? You tell me. Are we getting out of here, or am I doing a chart request? Steph Francis, so what happened to platinum? Did they discover a massive vein? I don't know. No idea. Silver Frock says, appreciate it, Joe, Lance, and Jason. No problem. Ben Ferrugia says, hey, Lance, cheers for keeping C for me. Fantastic. Steph Fran says, I stopped trying to convince colleagues to invest in precious metals. Yeah. The last attempt was at $2,000. And interesting. And now they don't want to discuss it. Odd, isn't it? Isn't that odd? That hey, guys, you should have buy down here, buy down here. Oh, look at, they would have been saying at that time, yeah, but it's at $2,000. That's really high. It's like, yep, but that's what a trend is. Okay. So now, funny, they're trying to avoid the pain. But that's life. That's what we do. You know, one day, and here's the thing, Steph, you never know for you, when these colleagues come to you and start asking you a lot of questions about getting into gold and precious metals, that could be the top signal for you. That really could be. When every man and his dog is trying to get it, when I've got friends and family really, when I start getting text messages or whatever saying, have you seen the gold price lately? That's when I'm thinking, okay, maybe we're a little peaky, right? So I think we've got a long time for that to happen. Okay, we're talking again multiple thousands in gold, etc. Let's see. Mark Florida says, GMS, hello and goodbye. We'll have to catch the replay. That's fine. Kevin Lou, it's great to see you back on the chart. If there is no chart request, can we have a look at EIQ? Haha. Interesting moves in the last few days. Yes, I've been watching it. They have secured FDA approval. Share price went up now, but is back to square one. All right, let's see. We'll come back to that in a second, Kevin. Gaza said, I bought some platinum back in May for around 2,900. Is that US? Well, it couldn't be 29, it'd have to be 2,900 Australian. For 50 grams. The buyback price is way down. Is there a reason for that? Are there different... Oh, okay. Are there different profit margins for different alloys? Ooh, let's see. Let me read that again. I bought some platinum back in May for around $2,900 for 50 gram, $2,900. Punctuation's really important, people. For 50 grams, the buyback price is way down. Is there a reason for that? Are there different profit margins for different alloys? No, not different profit margins, unless the ones that they set themselves. So if you're asking the question, it sounds like if you wanted to sell back your platinum to a dealer, I'm saying, is this what you're saying? They're offering less than, say, they would offer for gold or silver in terms of the percentage of the spot price. No, I mean, Bullion Now and Perth Bullion Exchange both offer spot for platinum because... And that's spot for gold, spot for silver, spot for platinum. It's no different. I mean, platinum doesn't sell as quickly, and that might be the only reason that some bullion dealers might say, well, I'll give you less than spot or a lesser percentage than gold and silver because they say, well, it sits on our shelves longer. Now, that's a fair point. If it sits on their shelves for longer, yeah, they're not going to pay as much for it, okay? Because then you've got money just tied up in that thing just sitting on the shelf. It's why when bullion dealers offer less for bigger bars than smaller bars, because you can sell 1 ounce silver all day, every day. You don't as often sell a 5 kilo bar or a 1,000 ounce bar of silver. Okay, they sit not on the shelf, but they sit on the floor. and they don't go as quick. So again, that's why if someone brought back a 1,000 ounce bar of silver to a bullion dealer, they'd look at that and go, hey, we'll buy it back, but not for spot, mate, or for way less than, say, the 1 ounce size. So that might be the reason. Or it could just be the bullion dealer you're dealing with just decides, I just don't want to. Let's see. Lance wants me to revisit SS1. We will do some revisits. We will. Yes, and uranium charts are starting to wake up too. They really are. So you know, I was in uranium for a bit, then I was out, and I'm thinking about it. But to be honest, I'm skirting the precious metals crypto thing at the moment. I'm really waiting to see which one is going to reign supreme, and one will reign supreme for a while. It hasn't confirmed yet. So I might be going. I'll be really honest here. Again, I love my precious metals. I might be going all in precious metals, or I might be going all in crypto at a point. You never know. I'm mainly looking at that, but I'm keeping an eye on the uranium thing because I was in it previously. As you all know, I'm also keeping a big eye on Tesla stock. I think that would be huge. Kevin Liu, I bought 1 ounce gold bar back in June for 35. Right, now spot price is 4K. No! Should you sell now and wait to buy back? I don't give financial advice. I will let everyone else in the comments give you your answer. Can everyone answer Kevin right now, please? The buyback on rhodium, yes. See, the buyback on rhodium is 50% of spot. Yeah, that's why many people don't get into rhodium, and they also not as many people get into palladium as well, at least in Australia, because palladium has GST attached to it, and you don't get as much for it spot-wise. And platinum can be harder to sell compared to gold and silver, except when platinum has its time in the sun again, and every person's really starting to add platinum to their stack. Cool. You've been in uranium now for a year and reaping it. Good on you, mate. SS1 trading now for 94. Thank you, Joe. Okay. Diamond hand it. Yes, diamond hands, people. All right, we'll do a really quick... Because we had EIQ, we'll take a look at that again. Okay. Chart revisit request. Chart revisit request for EIQ. Okay, this is one we looked at not that long ago, and it's had a bit of price action. This is the one that is in the medical. It's in the medical industry, and we'll take a look at it. And what Kevin was just saying is that they recently, let's see, they got FDA approval. Let me show that again. If there's no, can we have a look at EIQ? Interesting moves last few days. Have secured FDA approval. Share price went up, but is now back to square one. Okay, let's take a quick look at EIQ once again. Let me find it, and then I'll share the screen. I have been keeping this in my chart. Okay, there we go. Yep, there it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is EIQ once again. Only a few weeks ago we looked at it. And last week, did my alert go off? I don't think it did. I have an alert there set for something. We were hovering around this range here, around about your 20 cent level. This is in Australian dollars, by the way, Australian dollars. And since so, FDA approval, okay, for something fantastic. Looks like that was the sell on the news event. So a bit of a peak and now a trough. Out of interest with EIQ, we did spike above the getting interested line. So let's just show you that quickly. Let me go back and I'll show you because you may not have seen the previous video. Here is all, get rid of that, go away. Here is the quick chart I did for EIQ. What you have right here is my getting excited line. If when we start closing above here, that's at 28 cents, roughly 28, 29 cents, I will start getting interested in EIQ personally. Okay, you may have gotten down here and fantastic, good on you. You may have bought just yesterday with FDA approval. Okay, I will get interested here. We spiked above it, but we have not closed the week above it just yet. Okay, the getting excited level. So getting interested, getting excited is if when it closes above the 58 cent level. The final hurdle to confirm, probably really confirm new all-time highs coming, is if when we ever close a month above the 72-cent level, roughly, in Australian dollars. Okay, and that's then we're talking probably higher prices are going to come, at least to the all-time high. Always got to watch out for double tops, but at least to the all-time high. So even if you waited for the final hurdle, get this, right? If you waited to close, you waited until you missed all this. Let's just say you missed all this. Okay, big deal. Why? Because you waited until it closed above the final hurdle. And you would want to see it close above because you can find sometimes, a lot of the time, you can have dead cat bounces at the 0.78, at the 618. Sorry, I've been using the 618 as my final hurdle, not the 786. So you just got to watch out for that. Cool. That would be my final hurdle. In this particular one, I'm using the 618 right here. Imagine waiting for the final hurdle and then going, well, look, I missed all that previously, but I wanted to wait until I was really, really sure. And then just imagine buying somewhere here because we closed the month above it and then selling at the previous all-time high. That's about a 50 to 60% move in a very short amount of time. That's a good profit as well. But look, imagine, waiting for the getting excited line and then selling at the all-time high. That's nearly a 100% profit. Okay, give or take fees and all that kind of stuff, But imagine, I'm not saying do this, but imagine getting in after we close above the getting excited line and waiting until maybe the all-time high, or waiting until here, right? Waiting until the 0.618, waiting until and selling at the final hurdle because you don't know what could happen at the final hurdle. That could tick over. That's about a 130, 140% profit. Pretty good, but we are not there yet. And out of interest, my profit-taking area for all-time highs was somewhere between $3 and about $4.90. $3 and $4.90. Not saying it's definitely going there. That's just an area if we broke into the all-time high, you'd look at taking some profits there, okay? You really want to sell your profits, half of your profits when you double, okay? Sell half on double, recoup your initial investment. But, yes. All right, FDA approval, price spiked on the daily, and then it was a sell the news event. And we have already gone into, just so you know, Kevin, we've already gone into extremely overvalued on the daily time frame. I'm not expecting the price to break. I'm not expecting it to break the getting excited line, let's say, well, not this week and probably not next week either. I can't say, but I would suggest, and we'll take a look at the lower time frames, I'd suggest lower prices are probably coming at least next week, I'd imagine. Let's take a look at the 4 hour, and I could be wrong. So 4 hour is trending down. You got a bit of room to move until you get to the average. The 1 hour is okay. Oh, okay. We're actually quite low down. I think it's probably got a little bit more room to move, and we're not going to worry about the half an hour and the half an hours and whatever. 4 hour has room to move down. Look, it could certainly tick over, and with that good news of the FDA approval, it could certainly tick over and just go straight back into extremely overvalued. I'm more likely to say it's not going to happen by the end of this week, probably not next week either. So you've probably got a little bit more downward movement, or at least a consolidation between a certain level, and I would call that certain level probably, well, look, it's pretty obvious. Look at this right here, and then we will get out of here, people. Between now and here, between about, well, I'll just do that and that. Cool, you can see it right there. Between here and here is probably your consolidation level. So that's probably, if we don't crack below, and the next level below would be here, you'd be looking for. So maybe there at the, 20-cent level right there. So you could crack down, get to the 20-cent level and bounce off. That would be lovely. Or you could just ride in between, say, the 22, we're talking fractions of a percent here, people. Does it really matter? But really, you do want to wait for that confirmation. I really need to wait for the confirmation. And on the daily, sorry, did we actually close above on the daily? Oh, we did. See, we closed the day above. This might be one where we can't look at daily closes, okay? Because then the FDA approval happened, and then this was probably what would likely have happened is there was rumors of the FDA approval. Someone knew someone through something, and somehow it always leaks out and say, oh yeah, it's getting approved. We're going to announce it on whatever day. Someone knows. And look at that gap up as well, right there. That's after the weekend. Gapped up to here. FDA approval got announced. Sell on the news. Okay. I would be wanting to wait for probably at least closing a week, and I would say preferably closing a month above the getting excited line. You close October at around about 29, 30 cents. Oh, that's looking really good for November. Okay. And look, on the positive, on the monthly time frame, we are trending up on the monthly. So that's good. Okay. We're above this key level of that 20 cent level, which we finally broke. Okay. So you broke that, finally broke through. A breakout and a retest, you do have those quite often. I know I'm just spitballing here, but this is what I do. You could see something like that would be really positive. Ignore the time frame, just look at the price. Okay, something like that would be very, very positive for EIQ. And that's all I have to say about that. That has been EIQ, and I do not have time to do SS1. Oh, SS1, we'll come back to that another time. That's looking pretty interesting, though. All right, that has been... we'll do final comments, and then we'll get out of here. Let's see. Thank you for your insight. Thank you. Your insight is always appreciated. No opinion. Great advice, Joe. Thanks. You're welcome. Not financial advice. You do you and all that sort of stuff. Love Fridays. Double lives. Love Friday. Double lives. Oh, yes, you do too. Of course. You do get the extra live in the afternoon by my previous employer. Thanks, Joe. Great chat. Everyone, have to go catch some of you at 2:30 p.m. for the other live. That's exactly right. And Nakas O'Reilly says, nothing wrong with taking some profits from time to time. Yes, you don't go broke by taking profits. I've learned that lesson in the past. Not making that mistake anymore. Let's see, people. If you need lunch money, then yes, sell. Absolutely. All right, people. That has been Good Morning Stackers for the entire week. Tomorrow night, if you're in Sydney, you can see me at the Wenty Leagues Club with the U2 show, Achtung Baby. I am a Bono in a U2 show. You can see me to pretend to be a rock star. We already have at least one GMS member attending, so I'll have a good chat with them after the show. And check it out. Just type in U2 show Wenty Leagues, Wenty. Type that in Google. You'll find the ticket link. Tickets are pretty cheap enough. And you can see me do my thing. And if you're in Canberra, I will be in Canberra on Sunday with the U2 and INXS show called Stuck in a Moment. It's a combined tribute show. It's brilliant. So I'll be doing that too. Have an amazing weekend, people, because this has been...
Oh yeah, we're feeling fine. Good morning, Stack. It's podcast time.
Grab
a tasty beverage.
Let's do that. Oh man. In 3, 2, 1. Slurp it, baby. Woo! Stay safe, stay informed, have an amazing weekend. Let's see what happens with the precious metals over the close of the week. Be well. See you soon.